Hello my sweets and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to learn 3 new hairstyles for girls with short hair. Since girls in anime usually have really elaborate hairstyles, we usually imagine them as having really long hair. But sometimes a character has short hair and it seems like there are only so many things you can do with short hair. So I'm going to show you a few ways to keep your character interesting so that you can have multiple short-haired girls in one show or story and like not having to change the hair colors up too much to differentiate between them. So we're going to start out with this face template, and you can download this image and print it. The link is in the description down below, somewhere in this direction. So just go ahead and click on the link and download and print it, or just trace it off the screen or something so that you can follow along with this. And if you guys want to learn to draw the face and this basic hairstyle that goes with it, let me know in the comments and I will put up a tutorial on that. So let's get started. The bottom page is taped down, even if it's a little crinkled. Yeah, my fault. So we're going to start with a curly hairstyle. So let's first decide where the part is going to be, and the part is going to be down the center. And this might not look like the center of the head, but since she's facing slightly in this direction, this part of the head is going to appear smaller than this. Therefore the center is more on this side rather than being sort of right here. Okay, we know where the hair is going to be parted. Now let's decide how big the hair is going to be. We're going to draw a line that comes out and stops halfway down the ear. A big poofy curve. And then a smaller one that comes down underneath the ear and curls up to meet at the nape of the neck. And the same on this side, even though it's mostly obscured. Okay, now let's decide on the shape of the bangs. It's going to be basically like this shape of the main body of the hair, except it's going to be a little bit smaller and curve in very sharply and then come to rest a little bit in front of the eyes. When we add all the detail, the eyes will be barely obscured, but this marks the lowest point of the hair for us, so we draw it very low. Okay, one more bit to sketch in before we finish, the part of the hair that falls in front of the ear. In this time, for this hairstyle, it's going to obscure a whole lot of the ear. Let's add one on this side, even though it will be mostly covered by the head. So this is going to be pretty much a Sailor Moon style hairstyle, except without the long pigtails in the back. If you know anime, you probably know Sailor Moon, and that's the kind of hairstyle we're going to do here. So let's begin with the bangs, this segment in front. We're going to start by drawing a V shape on this line. And with that V shape marking the part, we can now erase this. Okay, from the V shape we will draw a curved line coming down to meet the bottom of the bangs guideline, and a matching one on the other side. We're going to then draw a larger curve on the outside of it that connects to the bottom, and a smaller one on this side because we don't want it to be symmetrical. Alright, that is the front part of the bangs. Let's continue on to the sides. We're going to start on the far end this time and connect to this outside curve. We're going to draw another. Don't draw them all as meeting because we want this hairstyle to be kind of messy. So draw them in a sort of random order so that they don't all meet together cleanly. Have some fall in front of the other. Right here I'm drawing one that falls in front of this strand over here. Draw some starting up higher than the others. Draw some that break apart at the bottom. If you vary these small details, the hair will end up looking a lot more natural. And then erase the bottom guideline. Alright, now we're going to draw some small curves under this V shape. This is the hairline. Now we're not going to add a lot of detail to it, but we're just going to show that it's there. Alright, now one more line for the bangs, a larger curve that comes off and then curls in. Then we erase the lines that it will be covering. Alright, now let's work on these small portions. This will be fairly easy. We apply the same principle that we used for the bangs. Break it up into smaller strands of varying thicknesses and send them curving in different directions. Then erase the guidelines. Same for this side. A small strand of hair curling into the eyes before it breaks up and falls behind the face. Alright, now let's do the main body of the hair. This is the most fun part because you can really go crazy with the curves and make it look super messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to first draw a hook shape that curves onto the main body of the hair, and then a similar shape over here. We don't want it to be symmetrical. This is a really messy, fluffy hairstyle, so don't get too immersed in making it look really styled, like carefully styled. Let's break this up into smaller curves. So we will curl it in and add layers, connect to the bangs, and have it break apart into smaller bits lower down. We can also add a strand coming out in the wrong direction on this side to make it look even puffier and messier. Let's do some detail on this side. And then erase all the guidelines. Before we're done with this hairstyle, we have to draw these bottom parts and add a little bit of detail to the top of the head because it's looking kind of flat for such a fluffy, big, messy hairstyle. So first, let's work on these little curls. Just break it up randomly, have fun with the shapes. Alright, now we're going to draw the top of the hair here, and we want it to stay low in the center but then come up and connect to the main body of the hair back here. So even though the hair is short, it does tend to fluff up a little bit at the top. Then a few small details for the bangs. Just a few more of these lines connecting it to the top. And then we are done. Let's darken the lines and add some color. Alright, now we're going to draw slightly straighter hair. This time it's going to be pinned up on the forehead with a barrette, so there won't be a lot of bangs to draw in this one. And the hair will be slightly thinner than the last hairstyle, but still pretty messy. So let's begin. First, let's draw the barrette in the center of the hair. It's just a big rectangular clip with, I guess, a decoration on it. Let's draw a little flower, because that's cute. Alright, now let's draw the main body of the hair. Which has a very irregular shape and comes down just before the base of the neck here. Alright, then we will have two long pieces of hair coming down a little bit in front of the ear, and again on this side. From here, we will draw a jagged line across the forehead, and we will alter this line later. This is the hairline, and draw how the hair is pinned up by the barrette. Okay, this is our starting sketch. Let's begin adding detail. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on these two side bits of hair first. We're going to draw a couple of smaller strands where the hair falls out of the barrette's hold before we draw longer ones. And the trick to make these look smooth is don't pick your pencil up from the paper till you are finished. Draw very slowly, resting your hand on the page, and this is an almost S curve. It barely turns in the other direction at the bottom. Now the second one is going to break in two when it reaches the bottom, because this is a very messy hairstyle, and the more strands the hair has, the messier the hairstyle will look. We're going to draw a piece of hair coming off of the pattern. And now let's do the same on this side. This is only going to need 1 or 2 strands. I'll go with 2, since most of it is covered up by the head there. Alright, now the hairline is going to be slightly curved since the forehead is a curved shape. So let's draw irregular jagged lines, curving slightly. And then we will draw the hair pinned up to this barrette, which we can move if you wanted to. First, I'm going to finish drawing the hair before I see if it should be removed. And this is basically reverse strands. Just draw curved lines coming up from the hairline here, and some lines branching off of them. You can even draw a small strand falling in the middle. The more strands that fall out, the messier the hair appears and the more character it has. Alright, before we finish up the front of the hair, let's go through and take a look at the main body. First, what we're going to do is add the renegade strands that poke out almost straight out from the hairstyle. You want these to be varying thicknesses and pointing in different directions. And don't put them too close together or have them mirror each other, or the hair will start to look like it's been intentionally styled that way. Alright, now for the rest of the hair, it's going to more or less curve towards the neck as it breaks off into many different strands. This one should go up farther so that it connects to the top of the hair. So should this one... So draw a lot of curving strands that are different lengths and do not look symmetrical. We want this hairstyle to look really, really messy, so just go wild. Then erase the guidelines. Okay, the top of the head will be more or less flat since it is being pulled into this barrette, but we're going to alter the shape. It's going to be pretty flat and low here before it curves up like the other hairstyle and connects to the main body of the hair. From here you can draw a small line poking out just to add some life to the top where it is pretty flat, not much is going on. Alright, and now we have a few options with the accessory that's keeping the hair pinned up. You could go with a small headband, which becomes visible back here. Or you could go with a barrette. And I prefer a barrette, so let's do that. When you draw the barrette, you have to draw the rest of the hair coming out from under it. So we will have a tiny tuft of hair that pokes up on the other side of this. So just draw some short, jagged strands coming off. And now we have a girl with her bangs pinned up by a barrette. Let's darken the lines and add a splash of color. Okay, on to the final hairstyle. This time we're going to do a really straight hairstyle, carefully styled and cut really short. This is going to look like a very businesslike, I suppose, hairstyle that you would see on generic background school characters in anime. Or, you know, that one dark, mysterious girl who always seems to know everything about the main character for some reason. So let's start. Since her hair is so straight and thin, it's going to be very flat on the head. So don't make this main body line too high above the sketch of the head. Then at the halfway mark of the ear, it will angle abruptly down. Let's do the same on this side. And bangs will come very low over the eyes. So let's draw the line for the bangs. Remember, since the head is curved, this line should also be slightly curved. The final part is the part of the hair that's going to fall in front of the ear and then connect to this segment back here. So let's just draw that line, which will curve a little bit in front of the neck. It's also slightly visible on this side, but not much. Alright, let's add detail. What we're going to do first is we're going to break up the bangs here. So let's draw the origin point, which is the center of the head again, except it doesn't appear to be parted here. From this origin point we will draw curved lines, segmenting the hair into roughly triangular shapes that are larger at the bottom than they are at the top. Then we can erase this. Alright, now we know how the bangs are going to curve, so we can start breaking it up. We will preserve this flat bottom line though. So just add small thin strands, small thin segments that break up this line of hair. Some should be far smaller than others, while some reach almost all the way up to the top of the hair. And all of them should curve in around the face. Okay, now we can erase guidelines and see what the finished product looks like. There, we have perfectly cut bangs that fall almost over the eyes. If you like, you can vary the length of some of these, which will make it look a little bit messier. But the more these bangs cover the eyes, the more mysterious she looks. Also, depending on how well kept you want the hair to be, you can also add small spiky strands at the bottom here and there. But I'm going to keep it entirely flat. Alright, now we can draw this part. These are just a few small strands that fall from the top of the hair and in front of the face. They could almost be classified as part of the bangs since they don't mesh with the back of the hair yet, but they are far too long to be bangs. And on this side we just have to darken it. For the top of the hair, all we have to do is darken it because her hair is so flat, thin, and carefully brushed. There's not much going on. Then we can continue down and draw the back of the hair. 1 or 2 lines can end in the regular spiked strand, but the rest should be treated like the bangs. Cut flat at the bottom with small breaks in the pattern. Alright, this hairstyle is a lot simpler than the other ones I showed, so this went really fast. It's basically made up of square shapes. It's really boxy at the bottom, so just keep that in mind and don't have the hair come too far away from this line of the head right here. Alright, let's darken the lines and add some color. Alright, that is it for this tutorial. I hope it was useful to you guys. If you liked it, don't forget to press the thumbs up button and leave me a comment telling me what you thought of it. If you have any other tutorial ideas, just leave it in the comments, make a request, and I can make that video for you guys. So, yeah, don't forget to be a sweet and subscribe and watch some of my other videos. I hope you like it. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Oops. I literally just threw my pencil across the room.